Serena and looking at coverage of Serena, I just always am amazed at how she's portrayed, how she portrays herself. If you are, oh, awesome. Awesome. That's great. So, just how she maneuvers on the court, like you can learn a lot about her, but then also you can get some really, really good life lessons by watching how she maneuvers in the tennis world, which is a primarily white dominated field and industry. And they've been in it for what, like 15 years now. Hey, boo. And so it's always just really interesting to see how they are able to navigate in that world. And I think it's some really good life lessons for all of us as well. So that's what we're going to talk about today, are the life, business, and branding lessons that we can all learn from the Williams sisters. The first one is the foundation. So if you don't really remember anything else that I talk about, you click off this webinar. This is the foundation of what I feel like creates that winning mentality, that winning spirit, that champion spirit and mentality in both of the Williams sisters. And that is, but especially for Serena, she maintains that consistent fight and spirit. Serena, if you watch Serena, she maintains that fight. She maintains that spirit. Every match she goes into it like gangbusters, and she is fierce. And a lot of people don't really, some people are a little uncomfortable with that because they think that she's being aggressive. No, she has fight. She has spirit. And that's exactly what we are to have in whatever it is that we are pursuing, our business, brands, life, our goals, our purpose. We should have that same fight. Like, I'm not going to give up by any means necessary. I'm going to do this. You better get out of my way because I'm going for the win. And that's exactly what Serena's attitude is all the time. You can tell it when she gets on the court. And one thing about Serena, when I watched her yesterday, because I've been hearing the commentators talk about how, you know, she was kind of, and not really, like, she was kind of lackluster in her early performances in the US Open. But when I saw her yesterday and they put the camera on her face, I even, if you follow me online, I even tweeted this and put this on my Facebook page. I was like, oh, she got that look in her eye. I was like, it was nice knowing you, Miss Keys. I was like, it was nice knowing you because you're about to get beat like you stole something. And that's exactly, it was a hard fought, but you could tell Serena had that look in her eye. And when Serena gets that look in her eye, you really had better watch out because it's over. It's like it's not going to happen for you. Every time I've seen her with that look in her eye, she wins. And that's how it needs to be for us. And that look is focus. That's what that look is. It is not anger. It is not aggression. It is focus. And a lot of times, sometimes for me, people say, oh, well, you know, you look like really intense. Are you upset? No, I'm focused. There's a difference. Don't allow people to negatively label you and wrongly label you like that. No, I'm not angry. I'm not aggressive. I'm not any of those things. I'm focused. And if you got some focus on your own self, then you wouldn't even notice that I'm focused. Anyway, so what you see in Serena's eyes is focus. And that is what we have to have. She is not distracted by the crowd. She's not distracted by the judges. She's not distracted by anything. Her eye is on the person across the net from her and on that little yellow ball. She is focused, and on the racket in her hand. She is focused. And that's how we have to be in our business pursuits, our branding pursuits, our purpose, our goals, our dreams. We have to be focused. A lot of times when you take your eyes off, just like when Peter was on the water and Jesus bid him to come and he got out of the boat and walked on the water, when he took his eyes off Jesus, when he lost his focus, that's when he began to sink. When you take your eyes off the prize, when you take your eyes off your dream, your goal, your purpose, that's when you start to fail. Or feel like you fail. That's when all of this other stuff starts happening around you. But when you have, I'm getting ready to sneeze. Excuse me. when you have that focus and you are looking only at that thing, only at the end goal, only at that prize, the other stuff, even though it may be happening, it doesn't phase you. It doesn't cause you to lose your focus. So thank you. So one of the lessons that we can learn from Serena and Venus as well is to maintain, thank you, our consistent fight and spirit. Maintain our consistent fight and spirit. The next thing from the Williams sisters, and I love this about them, but they get eaten up in the press for them. They are humble and gracious, but still fierce, fiery, and fabulous at what they do. And they don't mind telling people that. Like, I know I can play tennis. I'm not at Wimbledon for nothing. I'm not at the US Open, just because I know I hit a ball every once in a while. But if you watch them being interviewed, even post-match, when Serena was interviewed after she beat Madison Keys yesterday, she was a very, very gracious towards her. And she said, she's a very powerful player. She's young. She has a long career. I'm not going anywhere, though. But, I know that I have to bring my A game when I play her because she's a powerful player. And so we, too, can take a lesson from that. We can be humble. We can be gracious. And we absolutely should be. But we can still be fierce, fiery, and fabulous at what we do. And that's what we should be. Like, if you know your stuff, if you know that you are the bomb stylist and you know that you do things that no one else does, there is no reason in the world why you can't say, you know what, there are some amazing stylists out here. Let me tell you about the experience that you're going to have with me. There are a lot of watchmakers. I'm wearing my watch from Benson Watch, in case you can't tell. It'll be upside down, but oh, you can't see it. But yeah, it's an amazing watch from a Black-owned watch company. So you can talk about, yeah, there are other watches out here that, but it's not going to be like this watch, right? So you can be humble and gracious and still be fierce, fiery, and fabulous. A lot of us have this kind of pious, like, oh, well, if you want to, have this, I would greatly appreciate it if you, would consider, what? If I don't like people that are mealy mouth. That's one of the reasons I love Natural Nicole. She is not mealy mouth about who she is, what she has to offer, and the quantifiable action and results that can happen for you in your business as a result of working with her. And so that's why I love her. For me, I know what I bring to the table. I know the results that you will get by having a discovery purpose call with me. I know what can and does happen. I have the receipts. I have people that share those things with me. Yeah, I missed that. I watched some of her scope. Can somebody tell me what she said? Because I missed the end of it. And I haven't had a chance to watch the replay. So anyway, I love people like that. A lot of times other people, because they are uncomfortable with our greatness and our fabulosity, they want to make us shrink and downplay what it is that we have and what it is that we bring to the table. Don't allow them to do that. You are fierce, you are fiery, and you are fabulous, and you need to share that with people. And people need to know when you step on the scene, just like the song said at the beginning, all I do is win. When I step in the room, everybody's hands go up and they stay there because they know that you are in the building. And that is exactly how our attitude should be. That doesn't mean that we are stuck up or conceited or anything like that. That just means that we believe in our, oh, okay. Awesome, great, thank you. Yes, I am a pirate because that's what we play after every win as well. So, yeah, you can be fierce and fiery and fabulous and know that you are the bomb and still be humble and gracious and you should be, and still acknowledge the greatness in others. That does not take away from anything that I do if I acknowledge the greatness that's in you. I'm still fierce. I'm still fiery. I'm still fabulous. I'm still feisty. I'm all of those things. So, exactly. Don't shrink. Keep shining. Keep rising. And so that's one of the things that I love about them is the fact that they do not allow, they're humble and gracious, but they still know that they are the bomb. And Donald Trump, I can't even believe I'm quoting him, but Donald Trump says that demonstrating results is not bragging. When you deliver, as Nicole can say, when you slay and deliver, that's not bragging. That's saying, this is what I do. This is a result that I got as a result of this. This is a result of having a conversation with me, of having a discovery purpose call, of of working with me. Yeah, it's just facts. Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts. All right. The third thing that you can learn from the Williams sisters is they are well-rounded and diverse in their streams of income. This is huge for me because, yep, slay and deliver. That's what Natural Nicole says. So here's the thing. They don't have, you think that they make all their money from tennis. They don't. So even when Venus has that immune issue, that illness, so she's had a really tough few years where she hasn't been as competitive and she hasn't been doing as much. But they're part owner of a football team. They have endorsement deals. They do other things in the community that earn them money. Okay, so they don't just have, and I think Serena has that line that's on Home Shopping Network. So they don't just put all of their eggs in the tennis basket, although that's a pretty good basket to put it in, because I looked at Serena's stats. Over her career since 2007, Serena has made $73 million. Over $73 million since 2007. Okay, so it's not a bad basket to put your eggs in, but they even know that one injury, and you can look at Serena and her illness, an illness, a chronic illness, or something that could keep you out for an entire year of playing tennis, that cuts your incomes like significantly, right? So they realize, yes, they realize the need to have their money in multiple places and money coming in from multiple places. And so I'm pretty sure Venus won't hurt while she wasn't playing tennis. Whereas a lot of us, if we're out of work for a long period of time, or if we have a slow period in our business, which every business does almost annually, there is some period and point in time in your business where it slows down a little bit. And for a lot of us, it's during the summer as people are vacationing and doing different things. And like from usually around mid-June to maybe mid-September is a little bit of a slow time for some people, because if it's not vacations and people are just out of place, they're having to get their kids ready for school and stuff like that, and paying all these fees and things. So sometimes that's a slow period for people, right? But when you have multiple streams of income and revenue, you know that there's going to be money coming in from somewhere. So what that All right, sorry about that. Sometimes Periscope won't let me be great. And it's kind of raining and stuff here. So I think my connection is a little bit wonky. If you would share with your followers again, because I don't want them to miss what we are talking about. And that is the life, business, and branding lessons that we can learn from the Williams sisters, as in Serena and Venus. Right now, the US Open is going on. Serena and Venus will play each other tomorrow in the quarterfinals of the US Open, and there are so many life lessons that we can learn from them as a result. If you are new to my block on the Scoposphere, my name is Adeea Rogers. I'm known online as a trendy socialite, also known as the purpose pusher. I do push people toward their purpose. I help you discover, develop, and deploy your purpose, because there's at least one thing that we are supposed to do while we are here on earth. And I do help you discover what that is, develop it, and then deploy it to make a difference and an impact in your world. Awesome. I'm so glad that you're here. So we're talking about the business and branding lessons we can learn from the Williams sisters, as in Venus and Serena, the tennis players. So the first one was to maintain a consistent fight and spirit, and that's definitely what Serena has. The second one is you should be humble and gracious, but at the same time fierce, fiery, and fabulous. Okay. Hi, how are you? So, and then we were on number 3, and that was talking about how Venus and Serena are well-rounded and diverse in their streams of income. Venus just earned her business degree, which is huge, and you can best believe that that business degree will come in handy and will come to, thank you, I appreciate it, will be put to good use in the many diverse endeavors that she has. So, yeah, make sure that you are well-rounded and diverse in your streams of income. So look for things. The lesson for us is look for things that additional streams of income that complement your brand or your business. Look for additional streams of income that complement your brand or your business, so that it doesn't seem like it's a far stretch, and it falls in line with what you are doing and what you believe and what you feel like your purpose is. So for a lot of us, if we offer a product, then there is probably a somewhat of a service component, that goes with it. I actually just recapped the first 3. The first one was to maintain a consistent fight and spirit. The second one is to be humble and gracious, but fierce, fiery, and fabulous. The third one, that's what I'm on right now, is to have a well-rounded and diverse streams of income. Have well-rounded and diverse streams of income. So if you sell products, then there's probably a service or an event component to that that could earn additional money. So you can talk about how the how behind what it is that you do sometimes. Hey, thank you, appreciate it. So yeah, that you definitely should have diverse and multiple streams of income. The millionaires have an average of 5 to 7 streams of income, and that is how they earn their money. That is how they are able to do what it is that they do, because they have multiple places from which they are drawing income. So we can learn that lesson from, not necessarily. It depends on how you and your life is set up. If you have a team around you, you can absolutely do multiple things. So it just really depends on you and your fight and your spirit and your tenacity and what you're willing to work on. So you can absolutely do multiple things at one time, and it can work for you. You just have to have balance, you have to have support, and you have to have a team around you. So I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I do different things because otherwise I get bored and I wouldn't do anything. So I have to have lots of different things going on for me at the same time in order for me to do it. The next thing in terms of lessons, life, business, and branding lessons that we can learn from the Williams sisters is that they use their losses, weaknesses, and mistakes as information and inspiration, not an indication of worth or ability. They use losses, weaknesses, and mistakes as information and inspiration, not an indication of worth or ability. This is a huge lesson for all of us, because a lot of us take any sort of failure that we have, any sort of weakness that we have, and we magnify it, we amplify it to the highest level, and think that, oh my God, I can't do this. because I don't have this, or I don't know about that, or I'm weak in this area. No, Serena especially, and you can even hear the commentators talking about it, and they ask her about it in terms of her serve. Her serve was a little bit weak for the first few days of the U.S. Open. And so they asked her, well, like, it seemed like your serve improved. She was like, yeah, because I practiced. Now, she could have easily have been like, oh, my serve is off. Oh, my God, what am I going to do? I'm going to, like, she could have been over there, like, wringing her hands and just, no, she got out on that practice court. And guess what she did? She served, and she served, and she served some more. And she has a serving coach, and she hires the best people around her. And she's willing to invest in herself and her craft enough that she was like, oh no, my serving game is off even during this match, even in the midst of what she was doing. And she, as an indication of worth and ability, even in the midst of competition, she recognized her weakness. She's not waiting until she potentially loses a match and is out of the U.S. Open. She makes those changes midstream, midpoint. She got out there on the practice courts and started serving and serving and serving, and spent her time focusing on that. And it made the difference in her match with Madison yesterday. So we can, even when Serena and Venus have lost matches, and Venus has probably been plagued with this a little bit more over the past couple of years, and definitely Serena has, they don't allow their losses to stop them. They actually allow their losses to cause them to work harder. And for us, a lot of times when we are going through building brands, building businesses, trying to accomplish goals, we allow setbacks and losses and temporary situations to really, really just affect us in a way that we stop. And you don't want to do that. And it's not an indication of your ability or your worth. That just means that it's an area that you need to work on and work in, and that's okay. Or it's an area, if you're a business owner, that you may have to outsource. That may not be where you need to focus your time and energy, but you need to have the presence and the self-reflection enough to know what you need to do differently, to know what it is that you need to try and do that's a little bit different in order to overcompensate for that. So the lesson for us is spend time working on your areas of weakness. So one thing that we can do is to spend some time working on our areas of weakness. We don't have to, don't not address it, thinking that it's going to go away or it's not really that much of an issue, because it really could affect your business and affect your brand. So don't not address these issues, because it actually could affect your business. So either you need to outsource it and find somebody and pay somebody their worth to do it for you, or you can actually learn about it yourself and invest in yourself to take on that knowledge. For instance, I hear a lot of brand and business owners talking about how social media is not their strong point. Posting content and that sort of thing is not their strong point. There are two ways for you to handle that situation, because it's not going anywhere. Word of mouth and getting people into your business, whether it's online or actually into your store, using social media for that is not going to go away. It's just not. So there are two ways that you can handle it. You can either invest in yourself enough to learn the basics of it and enough to create a strategy that you can use social media effectively for your brand or your niche, or you can outsource it to somebody that does. Those are the two answers to that particular problem and solution. But you can't not avoid social media. You can't just not post up there and not have Instagram and not have Twitter and think that and wonder why your business isn't quite what you want it to be, wonder why you're not getting the penetration in the market that you want. That's because the word of mouth evangelism that happens via social media is something you cannot avoid as a business, as a brand, as a blog, as a coach, as a service provider, any of those things. So you can either learn about it, invest in yourself, take a course, invest in a webinar or training, or you can outsource it to someone. You can even look at an intern. I would not recommend an intern if you're a novice at social media, because they're also novices at social media. You need to hire someone that has some expertise, that knows about analytics, that's able to really get you some quantifiable action and results, and not just throwing stuff out there and it may or may not be effective for your, or attractive to your target or ideal audience. So you can use your weaknesses and your things as information and inspiration to help you continue to move forward and push forward, not as an indication of your worth or your ability. Just because you're not great at social media doesn't mean that your product is not good. Like, that doesn't even almost go together. Like, that's not how any of this works. That's my new phrase right now from the Geico commercial. That's not how any of this works. So you can awesome. So you can take that information and use it as like, okay, now I need to work on social media. I have my products down pat. I can make those in my sleep. That's excellent. That's good. I need to spend some time in learning the skills that I need to learn in order to put my products out there in the market and to get people interested and to get them coming back and taking advantages of offers and sales and whatnot that I may have. All right. The next lesson in terms of business, branding, and life lessons that we can learn from the Williams sisters, but primarily Serena, is that they may struggle. Yes, she absolutely does. Yes. So So she makes the victories, the progress, and the wins we achieve may not be pretty, but they are still accomplishments. And sometimes we focus on, oh my God, where I am, but you still got where you are. Okay. And that's the important part. And that's the part that you need to focus on. So it may not have been pretty getting there. It may not have been pretty opening your business. It may not have been pretty starting the blog. And you may have dark circles and bags all the way down to your chin from staying up, getting it done. And the theme wasn't right and all of that kind of stuff. But what the focus should be is the fact that you got there, the fact that you won. So Serena especially, she may struggle. She may, do some things that she's not pleased with even herself during a match, but she still wins, but she still accomplishes the end goal. And that's what we have to focus on in our brand, in our business, and in our life. The next lesson that we can learn from Venus and Serena Williams, which I think is huge again, and it follows off of the struggle, but you still win. And that is, eventually the wins outweigh the losses. The wins outweigh the losses. So here's the thing about Serena. Her overall record, listen to this, since 2007, her overall record is 732 wins, 122 losses. Her overall record is 732 wins, 122 losses. That's an amazing record, an amazing record. 2011 was her year of greatest losses. She lost 12 matches that year in 2011, but she still won something like 5 or 6 titles. Exactly. She still won like 5 or 6 titles. So even though she lost 12 matches, she still won 5 or 6 titles. It's all about perspective. It's all about how you view things. Since that year, she averages only about 4 losses a year. 4. And she plays anywhere from 50 to 75, 80 matches a year. 4. She averages 4 losses a year since 2011, since her year of kind of greatest loss in terms of matches. And I remember that year because commentators were talking about, is this the beginning of the end? Has she lost her drive? Has she lost all of this? No, boo-boo. No. Not at all. And as you can see now, she's still fierce, she's still fiery, and she's 33 years old, which in tennis is like middle age. Well, it's definitely middle age. And so she's still a fierce competitor. She's still beating the young girl. She's beating the old girl. She's beating everybody. She is only averaging 4 losses a year and averaging 48 wins a year. So she's winning 12 times more. 12 times more than she's losing. 12 times more. But for us, a lot of times what we do is we focus on those 4 losses. And again, we magnify and we amplify that so much. Oh my God, I lost 4 times. Like, oh, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? And you completely negate the fact that you have 48 other wins out there. As a coach, I could focus on the people that tell me no in terms of working with me. I could focus on the people that don't sign up for a discovery purpose call. I choose to shift my focus to the ones that do say yes to themselves, not yes to me, yes to themselves, and to an opportunity to get unstuck and to really figure out what their purpose is and to walk in that. That's where I choose to keep my focus. I choose to keep my focus over here to the people that say yes and not to the no's and to the losses, because I only focus on them to the degree that it gives me information to help increase the chances of no's turning to yeses. So that's the only space that I really give them in terms of looking at how I can do things a little bit differently to perhaps change that no next time into a yes. But in terms of that being, again, an indication of my worth or my ability, absolutely not. And so eventually, and it already has already happened, my wins, my accomplishments are overshadowing any losses, any negativity that I have at all. And that's how you have to position yourself. That's how you have to tell yourself to think. That's how you have to believe, is that eventually, if not immediately, your wins, your accomplishments, your goals, your dreams, the accomplishment of those will outweigh and overshadow the losses. People don't even spend a whole lot of time talking about Serena losing and things like that because her wins outshadow that. The fact that she is 3 matches away from having the most Grand Slams in a calendar year, like, that's amazing. They're not talking about the fact that she even has 122 losses. They're not focusing on that. They're not focusing on the year that she had 12 losses. They're focusing on the wins. They're focusing on the accomplishments. And that's what you all need to do as well when it comes to your brand, your business, your purpose. You have to focus on the wins. And if people try to bring the losses and the negativity, but look at the people that did not sign up. Look at the abandoned carts that you have. Yeah, but you know what I'm gonna do? Exactly. Like, a lot of us didn't even know that she lost and didn't know that she lost quite that much. But, rather than focusing on stuff like, oh, I had, all these abandoned carts, then the focus should be, okay, how can I get these people to actually commit to buy, to actually click the buy button and take them directly to PayPal? Not that. So what's the difference between the people that do click to buy and the people that don't click to buy? There may be a slight disconnect, or it may be that they're not your target audience, or it may be that they were never going to buy in the beginning. So why spend a whole lot of time and energy on people that were never really your customer to begin with, when you could be spending time with the people that are buying from you and attracting new customers that will buy from you to cover what even they abandoned and more. So it's all about perspective. It's all about how we think about things. The next lesson we can learn from Serena and Venus, and I love this about them. Love, love, love this about them. Celebrate every victory as if it were your first. Then get over it and prepare for the next one. This is what I love about them. So every time Serena wins a match, you would have thought that that was her first Grand Slam. You would have thought that that was her first Wimbledon, not her sixth. You would have thought that if she wins US Open, that's, I think this is number 5, that this is the first US Open that she's won, not the 5th. I love that about them. So they relish the moment, they relish the victory, and that's what we should do as well. We need to relish the times when our events sell out. We need to relish the times that our blog gets the most readers that it has in the entire month. We need to celebrate the fact that our sale surpassed our own expectations for it, or that even when you met the goal that you had set for your particular sale. We need to celebrate those like this is the first time this has ever happened. And then you know what? We need to get over it and prepare for the next victory, prepare for the next accomplishment. So for them, they celebrate in that moment, and they're immediately on. They don't stop. They don't ever stop. So they're immediately preparing mentally, physically, what have you, for the next competition, for the next round, for the next thing that's going to happen in their lives. And that's what we need to do as well. Celebrate in that moment. Allow yourself to celebrate. Allow it to be like the first time, and you're just like, yes! Because if you don't celebrate you, who is? Come on, y'all. Who's going to celebrate you better than you? So celebrate yourself, and then move on to the next round. Move on to the next hurdle to overcome and accomplish things with. I have 2 more lessons for you. The next one is Serena only competes against herself. Serena only competes against herself. And I know you're like, but there are people across the court. But they are nameless and faceless to her. I'm telling you, whether it's her sister or Sharapova, who I don't really care for, so I would beat her just off GP. Sharapova, Madison Keys, they might as well just be the machine that spits out the balls, because they are nameless and faceless to her in a lot of respects. She's competing against herself. She is competing against what she did in the last match. She's competing about what she did last year at the US Open. And that's how we have to view things. We spend so much time, especially product makers. Some product makers, they're getting kind of messy, and they're spending so much time looking at what other folk are doing, rather than focusing on the fact that you have a really good product and you need to position that product and yourself to sell. To sell to your target audience. So the only competition is a competition staring back in the mirror at you every day. That is your only competition. For you to be a better blogger, a better brand owner, a better business owner than you were yesterday. That's your competition. That's your goal. That's who you should beat every day, okay? Is yourself. You should beat what you did yesterday by what you do today. The last life, business, and branding lesson that I have as it relates to Serena and Venus Williams, because right now the US Open is going on, is that she has a confidant in her niche. And we all know who that confidant is. It's Serena. So she has someone that is in the same field and industry that she is. That's her confidant. And I watched a video this morning as I was preparing for this scope, and it was an interview with Robin Roberts and Serena. And she says, whenever I lose a match, the only text I check is a text from Serena. Because she knows she's the only person on this planet that I trust that understands and knows what I'm dealing with and knows what it feels like. She's the only person that knows. So what does that mean for us? We need to have a confidant within our niche. There are lots of people that I am able to talk to that are fellow event planners or fellow coaches or fellow content creators that only they understand what it is that I'm going through. Lydia from LA Curly Girls and I have gotten on the phone many a day and lamented and complained and belly ached over planning events. She's the only person that can understand what it's like. She's the only person that can really be able to, even offer me advice or really know my point of view. And even when I'm being petty, understand where my pettiness comes from. like laugh at me, girl. Yes, I understand. Like, that's what you need. You need a confidant in your niche. And even when you have to compete against each other, like Serena and Venus are going to have to do tomorrow, they do it in the right frame of mind. They do it as, I'm going to play my best against the best, and that's how they view it. They're out there, they're talking and hamming it up before the match. Afterwards, they're taking selfies. Like, they are so oblivious. If you watch them, they are so oblivious to the thousands of people watching them, the millions of people watching them on TV. They are completely oblivious. It's just like they're sitting in the house chilling. Like, that is how they are. And I love that, because they have not allowed the glitz and the glam and the commentators and all of that kind of stuff about them playing each other affect their relationship. And that's how it should be with those of us in the industry, especially if you are an African American business owner. Our competition are the bigger brands, and not the brands that that are within our own community necessarily. So I have a really good example of this, and I've shared this publicly before, and they know I talk about them, so I ain't saying nothing about nobody that I won't say to them. But you can look at the relationship, and you won't really be able to see it unless you see them at an event together. So the relationship between Coils by Nature and Adeea Naturals. Those are two African-American owned natural hair product companies. So here's the thing. This is where I really noticed it. This year we were at a natural hair expo in Charleston, the Charleston Natural Hair Expo, which is a great event. And Coils by Nature and Adeea Naturals had booths side by side. So at this expo, Coils by Nature was like here, Adeea Naturals was right here. And I watched them throughout the day. I watched how they worked. When they had customers, they were focused on their customers. They were focused on, answering their questions and testing out their hair and trying their products on their hair and all this kind of stuff. When there wasn't customers, they were talking to each other. They would gravitate toward the middle and there was like a stanchion in between their booth, and they were talking to each other. Then if a customer came up, they would walk back over and deal with their customer. They weren't out here like, girl, you need to come to my booth. Don't go over there. You need to come to my booth. They are able to literally coexist side by side, because there are things about that Coils by Nature offers that Adeea doesn't, and vice versa. And there are people that can wear Adeea Naturals and Adeea works for them and Coils by Nature doesn't, and vice versa. So they know how to peaceably coexist, and that's what we have to do. All of this shade, all of this kind of just messiness and drama, there's no need for it. If you can stand side by side next to your competitor, know what you have to offer, be confident in that, and then still be able to engage with someone that's in the same industry in you, and to be able to share ideas and to share experiences and to share resources, that is what this is all about. That is a major win. That is a major win. So for those of us, especially in the natural hair community, when you go to expos and events and you see multiple product owners and you see them talking and engaging, that's because it's a small community. It is a very small community, and we're all trying to win, and we all want each other to win. And so and I say we because I do INH&D, I feel like I'm an honorary member of that clique and community. So they are, a lot of times, they want each other to win, and they're sharing not necessarily trade secrets of their products, but they're sharing things with each other, and they're sharing ideas and resources. And, well, I'm dealing with this. How did you deal with this? Oh yeah, girl, I went through that too. Here's what I did. Or, oh yeah, man, I went through that too. Here's what I did. So have a confidant in your niche that you're able to work with. All right, I'm gonna recap really quick, and then we are going to, hi, how are you? Then we are going to end for the day, because I got some things I need to do. So here are the business and life and branding lessons we can learn from the Williams sisters, primarily Serena. Maintain a consistent fight and spirit. Maintain a consistent fight and spirit. Be humble and gracious, yet still fierce, fiery, and fabulous. Be well-rounded and diverse in your streams of income. Use any losses, weaknesses, or mistakes as information and inspiration, not an indication of your worth or ability. Use losses, weaknesses, or mistakes as information and inspiration, not an indication of worth or ability. Thank you. You may struggle, but you can still win. You may struggle, but you can still win. Eventually, the wins outweigh and overshadow the losses. Eventually, the wins outweigh and overshadow the losses. Celebrate every victory as if it were your first. Celebrate every victory as if it were your first. Then prepare for the next one. Only compete against yourself. Only compete against yourself. And lastly, have a confidant within your niche. Have a confidant within your niche. I'm so glad that you joined me on this Labor Day as I'm talking about life, business. You know what? I think I'm going to create that. I actually have a few ideas in my head of shirts to add. So I think that may be something. I don't know if it's going to be a shirt, but it may be something like, because I don't want failure. I don't want you to wear failure on your chest. So I'm very, very conscious of that words have power and that they also have energy. So I don't know that I want that word on your chest. That's too close to your heart. So it may be on something like a mouse pad or something like that. But I don't know that it's going to be on your chest. But there will be some new designs that are coming out in the next couple of weeks. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah, but there's going to be something, definitely. So yeah, thank you again so much for, I don't want it on your back either. That means that it's chasing you. I don't want it on your back either. I'm telling you, words have power and energy. So yeah, but it's still there. So I don't want it on your back. I don't want it to be looming anywhere around you. I don't want that energy around you. I only want you to focus on winning. I only want you to focus on winning. I only want you to focus on accomplishment. Hey, if this is your first time joining me and you weren't up here, I just finished talking about the business and branding lessons and life lessons that we can learn from Venus and Serena Williams as they are playing in the US Open right now. So I've already done that, but you can check out the 2 replays because Periscope has been tripping. But I wanted to come back and just share with you again that I think it's so important that we focus on the winning and that our weaknesses, our losses, any failure that we have is only information. I've said that for quite a while, like failure is just information. Well, actually, Oprah said it, and I've just adopted that. Failure is just information. It is not an indication of our worth or an ability or our ability. Yay, I'm so glad. Hey, how are you? So yeah, all I do is win. That's what we need to focus on, is the fact that we are winning, that we are accomplishing things. Yes. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Yes, and that's what I want you to do. All I want you to do is win. So yes, we are winners. I will do a brief recap because I think I have a few people that weren't on my initial scope. So I'll do a recap for you. I talked about thank you. Yay, awesome. So I'll do a brief recap for those of you that missed it. All right, so the first lesson is to maintain consistent fight and spirit. Maintain consistent fight and spirit. That's what Serena does. Yesterday when she played Madison Keys, when I saw her as soon as the match was starting, I said, oh, she got that look in her eye. I was like, bye-bye, Miss Keys. It was nice knowing you because Serena's about to wipe the court with you. And even though it was a struggle, she still won. But I knew she was going to win because I saw that look in her eye. And that's what we have to have. That is not aggression or anger, is focus. Okay? The next life, business, and branding lesson is to be humble and gracious, but also fierce, fiery, and fabulous. Fierce, fiery, and fabulous. Now that's going to be on a shirt. The third thing is to have well-rounded and diverse streams of income. Venus and Serena don't just play tennis. Thank you. Venus and Serena don't just play tennis, even though Serena made $73 million over the course of her over the course of her career. They have endorsement deals. They sell apparel. They own teams. So they have various streams of income. I'm sure they probably own real estate and things that we don't even know about that are generating income for them. So don't just put all your eggs in one basket. Yep, multiple streams of income. The next life, business, and branding lesson is to use our losses, weaknesses, and mistakes as information and inspiration, not an indication of our worth or ability. Use losses, weaknesses, or mistakes as information and inspiration, not an indication of our worth or ability. So Serena, her serve was weak at the US Open. Guess what she did? She went out there on the practice courts and served and served and served and kept on serving. And she has a serving coach. And she got out there against Madison Keys. One of her serves clocked at 119 miles per hour. There are dudes that can't even hit a ball that hard. Okay? She has one of the craziest serves in tennis, male or female. 119 miles per hour. You know, we're supposed to be the weaker sex. There are dudes, professional tennis player, men, professional tennis players that can't even hit the ball that hard. Okay. 119 miles per hour is one of her serves yesterday at the US Open. I'm gonna let that marinate. So she did not use the fact that her serve had been weak in earlier matches at the US Open to stop her. And as a result, one of her serves was 119 miles per hour. So we don't spend time focusing on that. You need to figure out what you can do to compensate for that weakness, to overcome it. So whether that's taking classes and learning about it yourself, yeah, it was. And then, or if it's outsourcing it to someone else. So like if social media is your weakness, you're not going to be able to avoid it. If you own a business or a brand or have a blog or do events, you're not going to be able to avoid social media. So if you do, you can either learn how to use it effectively, invest in training, invest in a coach that's going to teach you how to do it, or you outsource it and pay someone to do it for you. The next thing is, next lesson, you may struggle, but you can still win. You may struggle, but you can still win. Serena has struggled in the US Open in some of her matches, but she in the quarterfinals though. So some of our accomplishments, some of our goals and dreams, some of our wins may not be pretty and we may struggle. Don't focus on the struggle. Focus on the fact that you got there. Focus on the fact that you won. Focus on the fact that you accomplished something. Okay? The next life, business, and branding lesson that you can learn from the Williams sisters is that eventually the wins will outweigh and overshadow the losses. Eventually the wins will outweigh and overshadow the losses. Serena's overall record is 732 wins versus 122 losses. She's won something like 69 or 70 singles titles, 22 doubles titles. Because we know when Venus and Serena play together, I want to actually see them play against men, because I think that they would beat the pants off men if they did that. So eventually the wins overshadow the losses. Nobody's talking about the matches and the titles that Serena hasn't won. They're talking about the fact that she has like 70 thank you, 70 singles titles under her belt. Celebrate every victory as if it were your first. Celebrate every victory as if it were your first. If you notice Serena, especially, she's like, oh, yes, I just won my 6th Wimbledon. But you would have thought it was her first. You would have thought it was her first Wimbledon that she's won. We have to celebrate our wins like that. We have to celebrate our accomplishments like that. Don't allow yourself or anyone else to minimize what you have done and what you have accomplished in your brand, in your business, in your blog, in your life. Don't allow them to do that. Celebrate every win like it's your first, and then prepare for the next one. So don't just stay there, but prepare for the next one. The next life, business, and branding lesson we can learn from the Williams sisters is to only compete against ourselves. If you listen to Serena, especially when she is interviewed, she only competes against herself. She only talks about the fact that, you know, she wants to be better than the last match, than last year at the US Open. She doesn't really talk about people. She doesn't really talk about others. She talks about herself. She talks about the fact that she wants to be better than she was, not better than so-and-so, not better than even her sister. She wants to be better than she was. Our only competition is what is staring back in the mirror at us every day. Then lastly, and to me, very important as well, is the fact that we should have a confidant within our niche. Serena and Venus are confidants for each other. Serena said in an interview, when I lose a match, I immediately look for Venus's text. And that's the text that I read first and usually only, because she's the only person that understands what this feels like. She's the only person that can say something that's really going to get at how I'm feeling in that moment, because she's been there and she understands that. That's the same for us in whatever niche and industry that we're in. There are only people within that niche and industry that can really understand what it is that we're going through. Only another product maker can really understand what other product makers go through. Only other bloggers can understand what bloggers are going through. Only other event planners can understand what event planners face and what we go through as well. So you should find and ask for a confidant within your niche and look for that person. Not that you're necessarily always trading trade secrets, but that you're able to provide that level of support, and hopefully also be able to provide each other with resources that will make each of you better. Because when I win, I want my team to win. I don't want to be like Nicole says on all of her scopes. I don't want to be the only one on a yacht. I want to have friends with me. I want to have people out there with me. So it is important for me that my crew, that my squad win as well. So I'm going to help you get there. I'm not going to tell you like my secret 11 herbs and spices necessarily in my stuff, but I'm going to help you in whatever other ways that I can to get there. And that's not taking anything away from me and my shine and what I'm able to do, because my clients and my customers are going to be my clients and my customers, right? The same thing for you. Their clients and their customers are going to be their clients and their customers. So those are the life, business, and branding lessons that we can learn from Serena Williams. You can catch a little bit more detail in the replays that I have available. I also recorded this, so it'll be up on my YouTube channel. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So those are the life, business, and branding lessons, and you can follow me to know when, and I'll tweet out the link to the video, and it'll be everything in its entirety, including all of these wrap-ups, so you can watch it again for yourself. All right, I am getting ready. Thank you so much for that. Be sure to follow me if you don't. If you sort of stumbled upon me because someone invited me, I would appreciate it if you would follow me right down there, and so that you'll know whenever I am on scope. I am not 100% sure that I'm going to be able to scope tonight, simply because my uncle is in the hospital and we're heading out of town to see him, and I'm not sure exactly what time I'm going to get back from there. So I may not do my 10 at 10 tonight, but if I do, I'll tweet that out or I will share that information. So again, my name is Adeea Rogers, known online as the Trendy Socialite, and his name is Leonard. Thank you. I appreciate that, you all. So he's amazing. That's one of my, well, all my uncles are my favorite. I only have 3 uncles, so I love them like dearly, dearly, dearly. So we're going to head out and check on him and stuff like that. So I may not scope tonight, but if I do, I will definitely tweet out and put it on Instagram and I'll let you know that as well. I've enjoyed this. Thank you again for all of your support and for coming back in multiple times and staying until the very end. I appreciate you all so much because you all make my days so much. Absolutely, my pleasure. Because again, I want you to win. I want you to accomplish everything that you want to accomplish in life. And that comes through information and inspiration and sharing that little bit of knowledge that I have with everyone. Thank you so much, Lydia. So again, you all take care. Have an amazing day. And I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hold on, I gotta have some outro music for you. Hey, 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 hey. Thank you. Yes, and that's what we do. All we do is win, and that's what I want you to focus on starting today. Yes, girl, what? This is my jam. This should be your theme song. You should download it and add it to your playlist. And whenever you're writing, whenever you're working, whenever you're about to have a sale, you double tap the screen. Every time we are working on our goals and our accomplishments, like this song would get you hyped because all you do is win. That's what I want you to do. All I want you to do is win. And when you step in the room, I want people to see your purpose all over you. And they're like, hey, yes. I want them to see that purpose all over you. And they go up and they just celebrate you. They're just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. She's a bomb. She's good. She's great. She's fabulous. She is everything. Yes, that's what you need. All right. Whew. All right, y'all. Yes, purpose. I want them to see it all over you. I want them to be like, yo, she's in the room. Yes, yes. Someone about their purpose. I want game to recognize game. I love y'all too. I really do. I want game to recognize game. I want when you walk in a room, you see another sister or a brother that's about their purpose. That's about living the life that they have. I want you to be like, yes, we live out here living our purpose. Yes. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. I'm getting ready to go so you can catch the replays. Right. Yes, exactly. Game does recognize game. We do. Like we do. I know people that are about their hustle. I know people that are about that life. I recognize them and I'm like, yes, I got you. I get it. All right, y'all. I'm getting ready to go for real now. Y'all ain't gonna keep me up here all day. I got to go. So you all be blessed. Have an amazing day. For those of you that are just joining, catch the replays. It'll be up on my site soon as well. And I'll tweet out the link. So be sure to follow me on Twitter, Trendy Socialite, Instagram, Trendy Socialite. Yay! Have a great, amazing day. Take care and be blessed. Bye.